Hello there, Lord Coach KB here. So right now specifically I want to talk about the Oriana versus Azir matchup. Nemesis plays it right now, he's rank 5 in Korea. Now note that not much happened so far, that's why I skipped the level 6. He does have scaling runes and everything actually just scales on these runes, right? While Azir has more so early game oriented runes, right? Now from the other hand, what's important to point out that you gotta mostly survive through his early game, and of course you'll be at a CS deficit and you'll have to be a bit careful with his Halo Blades and his potential dive if you go too low. But generally speaking, it shouldn't be too hard of a matchup if Azir does not go Halo Blades, but otherwise early on it might be a bit more challenging, right? Now let's get back to the game. In here, pretty much what you have to watch out for is a Azir dive in, right? So if Azir ever tries to ult in, that's what you have to be careful to not overstep into his ult range, because he could toss you into the enemy jungle, right? And so like we watch out that this Azir is also a really good player, right? His name is KT Chinata. He's actually quite good of an Azir player, right? And in here the game really starts. So he does max Q on Oriana, right? But that's something I don't completely agree with. But definitely, if there are some really good Oriana players in the comment section, you should definitely like say your opinion about this. But I don't feel like maxing completely Q is really worth, because you gotta have some points in W as well. Because you gotta like match. Like how can I even say it? Like W itself could arguably give similar wave clear to Q, but it actually does more damage. That's what I noticed. And the slow and the speed up can feel to be quite nice. Now Q is also interesting in a way, but Q without W actually dealing enough damage is not that big of a thing in my opinion, right? I prefer to put maybe 3 points in Q after W max, no? Isn't that just better? He seemingly doesn't really react to this. I do believe he pinged it at least, right? He did maybe SS once at least, no? Can't really find it, but if he did, he did. Now in here he's getting rotated back on, right? So Azir was both side, and now what could really easily happen is that they rotate back on him, while also Note Malphite is missing. And now again, he doesn't have ult right now, but if he has no exact info on that, it's a bit risky to go for this wave, of course. Now Azir is back to lane, and he still has ultimate, which is a bit sad. Oh, what? Oh, you know what happened, guys? Lee Sin missed a little bit the ward. It's a very specific thing happened there. A very specific thing happened there. Watch. Look. But the ward wasn't inside the bush. The ward was outside of the bush. So this was a slight micro mistake from Lee Sin actually, right? And you know what happened? His kick got cancelled because he lost vision, because he worded incorrectly. Which is really weird. Then what happens in here is just quite simple. Oriana is actually flashing through the wall, and Azir doesn't. I don't suppose he can follow it up. I think Azir is not supposed to follow. What is he? No, he can't find Little. He cannot find Little. Lee Sin does actually go back to fight the Graves, but I do believe Graves will kill him in. Oh no. Oh, yeah, it's unlucky. That's unlucky. But sadly, he couldn't do much more about this. So again, like, Oriana is scaling oriented, and with the scaling oriented setup, he cannot do too much. Like, Azir will have way more pressure with his Halo Blades and he with his phase rush, right? So it's kinda hard for him to like match that Azir right now. Ooh, but look at the Azir player. Look at the Azir, not Azir, I mean Rakan player, right? look how smart he is. He held wave, so it will push back towards Azir, the wave, which is actually really good for Azir, but really bad for Oriana. He's even pressuring Draken so that they don't shove, but I assume they shove anyways. But he could hold also the wave for a freeze. Let's see if Draken holds the wave or Azir arrives. Let's see if he holds the wave. He does not hold the wave, Draken. Now in here it may not be the best idea to freeze, of course, because as we already know, he has no ult. He burned it earlier on and he didn't quite get the kill. But also no Drake is up, Herald is up, so freezing, if you look around the objectives, might not be the best idea, right? But if there wouldn't be objectives up, that's something that's of course considerable, because with Azir's current early game pressure, you don't necessarily want to freeze. And especially with no ult, right? You don't necessarily want to freeze, you kind of want to control objectives, right? But that's something that we don't see from many supports, just the support holding the wave. So definitely well played on the Rakan's part. There's a fight going on bot lane. So not much happens, so let's see what happens in here. I think he ulted a bit early now. So Azir went for a trade. At this point Azir is probably really annoying I think he's really annoyed of the enemy Azir. So he hits his W, he ults. So he does ult, but for what really? Because Graves is not in position and his W is coming up for an E. I'm not exactly sure, because he's not under tower either. He didn't even take a tower shot. I'm not sure about this. I think he got annoyed of Azir. But he still has WE, right? So yeah, he still can WE out, so I'm not sure what was that. I think he got a bit impatient because he got so far perma-bullied by Azir. So it's kinda like he wanted to punish him maybe a little bit, but I think he rushed a little bit his combo before the arrival of Graves, of course, right? That's my opinion. I think he should have been a bit more patient on this combo. And when Graves is in proper position, perhaps he can look for a collapse. But like this, I think he forced a bit too early before Graves was actually in position, of course, to deal with him, right? Because remember, as Oriana, you actually rely a lot on your jungle. Especially if it's something like Jarvan, right? Because you can even E a Jarvan, then when Jarvan ults in, you can ult as well, or Nocturne, right? So you can have really good synergies with junglers, right? But remember, you're kind of a support on Oriana actually, because if you look at Oriana's skill, she speeds up people and she shields people just like a Lulu does, right? And you CC people as well, just like Lulu's ult does, right? So it's a bit similar to Lulu in a way. Your passive also does, like, of course, like magic damage on it, so similarly to Lulu, right? This type of enchanters like Sona, right? So in a way you're actually similar to those type of people, which means you can play similarly to enchanters, right? Because early on it's hard to like find lethal damage even all-in if you don't have like DPS runes and you have phase rush. So early on you gotta be a bit more softer with your all-ins. That's my opinion. So let's see what's happening in here. Yeah, this Azir really bullies him. He has the bully rune. Azir just woke up and decided to go for the bully rune. Oh, he missed a little, huh? Yeah, I think he got really pissed off by this Azir. So let's see what's his next. He did actually, he's building for Liandry, right? He's not really buying boots, he's rushing Liandry. That's fine. That's also totally good if he wants to rush Liandry. That's a insane. It's a really good item on Oriana. You can perma reapply it as well. It's like super good. His last hits are really clean as well, by the way. So he's a bit careful, right? Watch out on his positioning, right? So maybe Rakan could be soon here, or Lee Sin, and he's positioning upwards because he's really careful. He's playing really carefully around the potential Lee insect or something. So he's like being like super careful right now. Okay, So what does he buy in the base? He brought Liandry's Torment, he presses W to the base, he speedruns to the base. And he also, right now he's just waiting for Gathering Storm stacks. He's still looking to scale a little bit, but at this point he should be actually quite strong. So Oriana does scale for the run from one item, of course. She scales quite nicely with items, but at first item she spikes really hard, right? At first items, that's definitely a thing. And now we can actually like do something about Azir. So it's not like he's getting perma bullied all the time. Ooh, nice. That's definitely well played on this part. He managed to kill Azir with his team. And let's see what's going on in here. There's pretty much. Oh my god, good ult. But there's no follow-up. Thresh didn't Thresh have hook or... Oh, I think Thresh didn't have hook there. Oh, Thresh already hooked. Oh, that's unlucky. Thresh already hooked. So sadly there wasn't a follow-up. So this was a bit weird as well, because... Sure he ults, but Jace is not in position now. We don't know where Rakan is, of course, where Lee is. So it's kinda like... we don't have hook. I think if he Thresh had hook, we could look for a kill, but he hooked 4 seconds ago in front of him. So this was a bit of a throw ult. So watch out for this type of mistakes that he does, because you could do really easily the same mistakes yourself, of course. So be careful with be careful with Oriana ults. Like try to do ult for something more consistent, right? Because in here he does not have hook on Thresh. So that was the issue. Like he hooked. I mean, he ulted, but there was no hookup, right? So I think he was a little tilted this game. I think early on something probably tilted him. Because based on his gameplay, he looks a bit angry, he looks a bit tilted in my opinion. Now, note one feature that you noticed: lots of people go Sorc Shoes on Oriana, but he went Ionian. He combined Ionian with Liandry, so he can reapply Liandry quite often. While also note that this is a DPS build, right? So when you go for a cooldown build, you kind of want to maximize out your DPS on Oriana, which generally allows you to enchant more and also to have more DPS at Ionian boots. Now usually like Sorc Shoes is something you take into squishes, but in here he decided to go for Ionian boots, because a lot of them can be rather durable. Although I'm not sure how to feel about Ionian boots on Oriana, because he gets a cooldown from runes, he gets cooldown of course from his Liandry, and his cooldowns are already like very low on Oriana. So is it really worth going Ionian, because the cooldown from it gonna be very diminishing on his basic spells, right? Because she already has low cooldown. So if someone is like, of course, like a big Oriana expert and can tell us if it's worth or not, that would be great. But I don't feel like myself. I played Oriana, and I don't really feel like it's that good unless they're like super tank, super bruisers, to the point where you need that extra DPS over burst. The frequency of abilities matter more than the burst. Then if you're in those type of games, then it can be totally fine. But in here, they're at most squishy, you know. I mean, Lee Sin doesn't even go Score Drinker, right? But also note that they have a Malphite, but Malphite mainly builds armor, and they have a Rakan, but he also builded Shurelia. So the thing is, even champions that are supposed to be like tanky, you know, Spear of Sojin, Lee Sin, and the Gore Drinker and all that, they're not. So I think in this game, Sorc Shoes would be a little better, no? Arguably, when he was even like looking for a build right from those chapter into like Ludens or Liandry, maybe he could then decide to go Ludens, just because like based on Lee Sin's and Rakan's build, they don't stack that much HP, right? Except Malphite. Malphite does stack HP, but based on their builds, you can kind of be like, yeah, but these guys don't stack that much HP, right? Azir of course goes Ludens or Liandry, so I'm like, wouldn't Ludens feel to be a bit better then? Like sure, like Liandry never goes wrong on Oriana, you know. That's what I all the time say. Like Liandry is very consistent. Like Liandry doesn't like ever really goes wrong. It's just I think this game Ludens would be a bit more fitting in my own opinion. The one thing that's kind of like nice about like Ionian boots is kind of nice because you can spam your ults and enchant more. So it's kind of nice to have like overall. If you're behind, or if you feel like you're mainly gonna be like a supportive champ in the game. But in my opinion, I would call Ludens Sorc Shoes on Oriana. Also, one thing I found to be a bit odd as well, that I don't talk too much about his phase rush, right, guys? But I'm not sure like his phase rush really worked into them. Like it's not bad. Like again, this is one of those things that doesn't really goes wrong. But couldn't he match more easily Azir's early game with maybe Comet 80, Comet Scorch? I mean, right? Any of those Comet 80, Comet Scorch, ideally Comet. Um, so he'll be able to like pressure more early on or reset now more. First like is also interesting because what I'm thinking of, phase rush is surely nice, but the thing is when Rakan jumps on you or Malphite, that phase rush can't really be procced, right? Or like they have sort of like a hard engaging comp, right? And usually into hard engage you would take phase rush, but I'm kind of like I have like mixed feelings about phase rush. Like sure it's useful, but if you get like ulted by one of their CC champs, you can't really disengage with it, you know? That's what I'm thinking of. This kind of gives me like mixed feelings. Like sure it's nice. If you get to proc it, it's nice. But if you get CC ulted by one of them like Malphite, then it's questionable. He knows he's getting cool. Yeah, it's a bit sad. Yeah, Malphite just went for an ultimate. I mean, he had flash, but he didn't really flash away because he knew that he would be likely dead anyways, right? Now let's wait a little bit until he spawns, of course. But he actually had a quite nice KD at the end of the game, by the way. He actually had a very nice KD at the end of the game. Let's move on a little bit upper. So he's looking to rotate for, I think he's looking to rotate on Jace right now. Huh? Yes, but he decided to, oh, that's a good ult. Let's see if he manages to get value. Okay, it's good, that's good. Yeah, where is Nemesis? I think he had a nice ult, but where did he go though? So he was on the other side of the wall, huh? Oh, that's lots of damage from Kaisaro. That was so much damage before she died. Yeah, it's weird. Does he disengage? Wait, he ulted there. Malphite actually ult. Oh, he does disengage. That's insane. Oh my god, that's insane. That's actually insane, right? Oh, she might be out. She TP's out. No way, right? No way. Oh, she's out. Oh my god. That was so close. That was so close, guys. Now, let's see what else he do in here. In here, pretty much he just aims to like spam his W, maintain his Seraph's Embrace. Because shield is very important, right? To have it up before a fight, because this is usually quite big of a shield once you have it stack it up, right? Like this should give you a very big shield, because Oriana has like right now a gigantic mana pool, right? So let's see what's his next move. So he's actually aiming to sort of pick up one wave, right? I think he's just picking up one wave and just CSing for his next item, right? Rebellion, Zanye. He goes Rebellion, respect. He goes damage. Alright. So so let's see what goes on in here. I don't know what was the sound effect on. Oh, that was Azir's passive. That was Azir's passive. he's looking for an ultimate, right? But he don't really have the best follow-up, as Graves has no ult. We'll see how things turn out though. He didn't really ult. He decided to actually just drop the whole ultimate thing and flash out of Azir's ult, which was really smart of him. And I think he will look for an ult on Azir now, no? Yes. I don't know what are those 9,999 numbers on my screen. It's just weird. Interesting. Do they pick up the Malphite is not dying today, man. The Malphite is not dying today. So let's see what does. I think he goes Rabadon if I'm correct. He does go Rabadon, yes, okay. So, you know, he always spams his W. He's trying to go from A to B as fast as possible. It's a very important habit to have as Oriana. And basically just aim to like, it just maximizes out your like, you know, you're going from A to B potential, right? It's as simple as that. Now let's see what's going on in here. I think he's farming for 16 for his Rabadon. Did he finish his Rabadon? He did finish his Rabadon right now. And when Oriana finishes Rabadon, you know, her AP ratios are quite nice, you know. 95%, it does lots of damage. W 70% and Q 50%. And some people would say, well, those aren't really too big, right? These aren't too big AP ratios. But the thing is, these abilities are very spammy. 1.62 second cooldown. 3.78 seconds cooldown, right? So these abilities are very spammy. So that's why I said like it has like nice AP ratios, because they are very spammy abilities overall, right? Her base abilities. But also note her ult has a higher AP ratio than any of other of her abilities. So that's nice, you know, they buffed it at the time. So let's see what do we do here. He dies. Okay, so what does he buy? He does actually go for Elementon, probably. I think he probably goes for a Zanyi. Wouldn't feel to be bad, honestly, no? White stuff, not yet, not quite yet, right? I think Zanyi would feel to be nice, no? Maybe he shouldn't actually rush stopwatch, no? If he had money, he didn't have money, huh? I think stopwatch rush is ideal, no? Into them, because Soul is coming, right? And into Soul you want to have stopwatch, right? Into a potential Soul fight. Because this is the type of Soul you kinda don't want to give up. I mean, they're not the most insane at utilizing it, but they're still not bad at utilizing this Infernal Soul, right? So let's see. Let's see what does he do, right? I think he just pretty much plays around this team. You know what sucks, guys, in this team? He has actually no proper hard engage, such as a hard engage top like Malphite or a Rakan support on his team, or perhaps a jungle that's not Graves, but something like Jarvan, right? Something that sort of jumps on them so he can ultimate of them. Because he has none of, like, Thresh maybe can go in with Q, but it's like, they don't like engages from his team, right? And so like these type of comps are not the most ideal with Oriana, but she's like fine. Like I'm always saying that these type of comps are like okay, but not the best with Oriana, you know, in solo queue. Like, I would say, like, you still can function and you can still play around your team, your Jinx, but they're not the best, you know. They're okay, but not the best that Oriana would like to have in her team. But yeah, let's go down and see what's he doing on bot lane. Picking up a wave. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, Malphite was there, and I don't know. I don't know. The map is quite. I think the map is quite under vision, right? Like we see Azir top side, right? We see some things, but it's kind of risky. It's kind of risky, right? Command shockwave. Yeah, so right now this does a lot combined with W and all that she has in her kit, right? That does a lot right now if it connects. But that's one of the other issues with his team. Like, his team doesn't have much CC to sort of allow a smooth Oriana or connection. So his team is not the most like functional with Oriana. The skin is quite nice on Oriana. Like, her recall animation is really nice actually. Her passive does some degree of damage though. Not insane amount, but some degree of damage, right? Okay. Okay, let's see what does he do, right? So he actually just CS's quite a lot this game. His Parma CS's because his team is a bit dysfunctional comp-wise, I think. He TP'd bot lane for Malphite? Okay. I mean, he did pick him up and he's closing up to his 16, so that's something that's like nice, you know. That's something that's very nice, guys. Now let's see what's his next action, of course. He does actually pick up and buy what? Does he get a stopwatch now? Does he does have a stopwatch already, my bad. And he is actually building Finnish Codex, okay. He's going for Finnish Codex. Now the question is, can he contest this? Yeah, he can contest this. So his macro at most is at point, right? Like at most is at point, right? Now let's see what's going on in here. Oriana actually does pick up the wave. Oh my bad, guys, sorry. GG. GG. I think this was a bit of a. I think he was a bit tilted early on. I think that's the vibe it gave off to me, honestly. Because I watched him early on getting bullied quite a lot, you know, pre-6 by, of course, his team. I mean Azir, my bad, not his team. And that kind of like pissed him off probably. And that led him into like some type of fear ults. But overall, it was a decent little Oriana gameplay in here, right?